Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of April 18th, 2021. Yes, that's correct. On the cover, we've got the brand new series, Candy Flurry. Uh, what's there to say about it? Got our main character, it looks like. She's got the big old lollipop. There's a bunch of wreckage, a bunch of lollipops in it. It feels very, like she did in Unlimited Blade Works. Got this boy over here with a fork. I imagine this is going to be there are some people who control the candy, and then there are some people who eat the candy. But what happens when they work together? I do like the way her hair looks, like with the little streaks of pink in it. Like, I hope that carries through to the manga itself. Like, how do I put this? If it is just black hair with white streaks, I think it wouldn't look that cool. I hope that, in black and white, you get, like, the white and the gray. Like, I hope the mangaka manages to show that it is, like, very textured. Because, yeah, like, his hair is also less so, but there's a little texture to, like, the yellow and the orange in it. It's nice. It makes them pop. Without it being just a straight up, my hair is pink. So before we get to that, let us start off traditionally. Oh, wait, I don't have my... yeah, I do. Okay. So let's start off traditionally with Black Clover, Chapter 290, The Highest versus the Lowest. So some of these are going to be real tricky. I don't remember a whole lot about Jump last week. But The Highest versus the Lowest is, it's a theme I like. It is like, the theme of Black Clover. It is the Black Bulls are the absolute lowest. They're a bunch of miscreants and misfits, but they're, they have to match up to the Golden Dawn. Then they have to match up to elves. Now they're matching up to, devil users. And it's not just them alone at this point, but still. Oh, it's a 5-leaf clover, like, countdown timer. I don't know if we've seen that before. All right, like, Asta's been in this form for a bit, but I don't know if we had to zoom in on this thing yet. That's cool. Okay, second sword, Demon Dweller. Ooh, are we gonna get a big, it might just be the big slash, but I'm wondering if we'll ever get a, like in the same way that the Black Divider is super big, if you'll get, like, a beefier Demon Dweller move. Also, it's been a hot minute since we've seen the Demon Dweller do the thing, its thing. Like the redirect mana, or like suck in a certain mana type and then expel it. Like, Asta almost entirely uses it now just to, like, shoot his own anti-magic. And that's okay. Like, I'm glad that it is a stated thing. That it's not just all my swords do this. Or this is just an unexplained attack. But, yeah, like, I wish he'd be able to do that stuff more. Like, especially in this situation, actually, where there's a giant ball. He did bounce it away, though, so never mind. Wait, is he cutting it? Oh, I guess what he's trying to do is, like, while the fused devil is, being pushed by its own attack, he's, like, cutting through it to, try to cut it. And then the Demon Destroyer, which makes sense because, like, it's the only thing that can affect it. I wonder if, like, because we're doing this, like, sword rush, is he going to pull out the one that Yami gave him? Like, is that going to have special ability? I was the weakest one in the first level of the underworld. I could have never been a match for these supreme devils. Oh, that's actually really cool. And I'm glad that, that they did or I don't know if they retypesetted or if they just took, the translated panels and slotted them in. But either way, really glad they didn't do the classic, just leave that untranslated. Because, like, especially for this moment, because it is the big, like, oh, actually, the sound effect isn't translated, so maybe they did actually go in and, like, retypeset all of this for this panel. Oh, no. There's a tiny little sound effects explanation there. I was misled because I thought it would be here, but it's over here. So yeah, I think they did just take it, especially with, like, this dialogue. Oh, I didn't even notice that in this panel. Okay, that's pretty good. So, in this panel that, I want to call him Nocta, that's not it, Liba. That Liba is thinking back on. In this, it was Asta talking to Liba and then doing a flashback to other panels. And those panels look blank. Those panels don't look like they have anything in them. It's so recursive. But yeah, like, if this had been left untranslated, or if they'd all been left blank, like, I don't think it would have the same effects. Like, this was Asta saying, like, I'm looking back on my past. I realized that, I wasn't, everything that I've been able to do up until this point is because of you. Even if you are acting like an antagonist here, I don't believe it. Or, even if you are an antagonist here, I still have to say thank you. I've never been able to show my appreciation until right now, so I'm gonna do it. And now we get the big flip. He's not saying it out loud, but he is like, yeah, you know what? Everything you said, ditto. It is thanks to you that I've been able to do anything, because I was nothing before. Also, that is actually really cool. Like, I'm glad this doesn't seem to be a, like, the chosen one. The prophesized anti-magic. Like, these two seem to be pretty big deals, and they have no idea what this is. I mean, we even got that a little from the Dark Triad. Like, the fact that the Dark Triad, I mean, we didn't get anything, but in hindsight now I can understand that the fact, they didn't notice anything weird. And that is in itself interesting. It is showing that, yeah, like, this is the domain of such a weak, insignificant devil that, of course, no one has ever heard of it until now. Or any, like, in hell, you would not actually, notice any of this. Like, none of the, like, this is not a prominent thing. We're not going to get to the absolute super powerful final devil that actually has anti-magic as well. Experiencing, I assume, like, just frustration for the very first time. You don't have to know. You never needed to learn. The highest devil's in the first level of the underworld. No one was a threat to you, so of course you can't understand. It's called fear. Oh, it's not rage. It's not frustration. It is fear. Okay, so we did see it before. I completely blanked out on that. Big apologies if you've been screaming at the monitor. But okay, cool. Also, with this one and with the previous one, I really, like, Yuki Tabata's usually pretty good about using flashback panels, but I appreciate that, like, they are just a brisk reminder. Like, it serves the narrative. We're not, like, stopping to really focus on it. Like, and that is shown with the fact that they're smaller and that they're a little grayed out. But it is still very legible. It isn't just the, like, these panels are just here for flavor. You are supposed to be able to read them in case you forgot. Okay, can't catch up. He can't stay on the defensive. He's got to go on the offensive. Sorry about that. A quick little diversion. Wait, who? Oh, okay, that's knocked. Like, it's the horns plus the hair plus the, like... He's gone through a lot of looks. Now, I get it, and, like, this is not the time. This is chapter 290. I can't complain about this. I feel like, this is a real... Within the first couple of chapters, you have to let go of this. Or maybe not the first two chapters, but at least the first two volumes, I think. I think volume 2 is when we start to see, like, the anti-magic being a physical thing. Like, not just, like, reflecting attacks or, like, being able to cut through attacks, but it is actually, like, a thing. Like, at this point, I need to just accept it, but I don't, like... Specifically, the thing I don't like is when Yuki Tabata / the characters in universe state that, isn't that ironic that you have so much magic, but the person you fear the most is someone with no magic at all. When that isn't it. Like, anti-magic is not magic, but it is also a thing. Like, it wouldn't be ironic if you said how do I put it? I think you could make a case that, like, if Yami, for instance, ran out of magic, but he could still sense ki, and he was able to beat someone without any magic just using his ability to sense them, I think that works a little bit better. That would make sense as a, like, even, with zero magic in him, he was still able to beat you. And even if it is through, like, another supernatural thing, it is still, like, you can still kind of say that. But anti-magic is, for all intents and purposes, magic. Like, the moment that Asta could shoot it out of his sword, it was, like, that's a physical thing. That is not just the absence of magic, or the ability to not have magic work on you. And, like, he can fly with it now. Like, once he had the wings, I think that was the point where I personally, like, I was even, completely willing to accept the shooting the blades as just like, yeah, you know what, that's whatever. Like, it only affects magical things. And, like, his, it is actually not effective on physical objects. So I can buy that. But the moment that Asta could fly immediately made me go, this is magic. This is a substance with special abilities that he accesses using a grimoire. Like, this is, how do I put it? It's in the same way, like, from My Hero Academia. If someone were to say, like, the irony is that All for One has all the quirks, and Deku, a quirkless boy, was able to defeat him, like, that wouldn't make any sense. Because in chapter 1, he gets a quirk, like, he is a quirkless person, like, that identity will always be with him. Like, that was the way in which he grew up. That's baggage on him, sure. But he is not quirkless anymore. He's a person with a quirk. You can't have the big energy slash with, anti-magic bolts of energy flying around while saying, isn't it ironic that Asta has no magic? Okay, this is dope. Like, the fifth minute finally hits, they snap apart, they look at each other, and they immediately do the big arm bar. It's like, yeah, we did it! While falling. I wonder if Liba can, like, lift Asta. Like, they are falling, right? I mean, it's hard to tell because there's no background in those shots. But they're still in the air, it seems like. So, hopefully. Because, yeah, the, pushy sword isn't with them. I think Asta threw it, so he can't, like, ride on it like a surfboard. So hopefully Liba can lift him up. I think he can. I feel like when Nox had, like, one of his tiny little devils lift Asta at some points. I can't get over this. It's so dorky. Like, I think that is something that Yuki Tabata still manages to nail a lot of the time, is the, like, this is really cool, but this also looks dorky. And, like, it isn't so dorky that it's supposed to be funny or comedic. Like, this is not a, like, this is dumb shot. This is not a Mashal or a One Punch Man, like, get rid of the background and make it look super stupid. It is just very earnestly goofy. The sweat dripping off of them. Oh, I love it. Also, I didn't think about it, but yeah, like, now we also, like, Sylphie was never, like, or was it just Sylph? Yuno's, like, fairy never really stood out to me as being, like, an advantage. It was always just, like, like, Asta has the devil inside, Yuno has Sylph, and, his advantage is that he can actually talk to her, and they're, there's more of a communication there, whereas Asta has to do this scary deal with the devil in order to get more power. But now he's evened out with Yuno in that regard as well. Like, now Asta has a partner. And now like, Sylph actually cares about Yuno. Like, more so than just the, like, the gag of, oh, I'm so in love with you, you're my prince. Like, it is a very serious, like, I see how much this means to you. I am actually going to try real hard. Like, that is how Yuno got his current form. I didn't even think about that until right now. But yeah, like, they both had the half forms when they were, just drawing their power from their other side. Just as a, like, I can do it because I'm a badass. But now they've fully accepted their other sides, or, the people they're working with. Not really other sides. Like, they are distinct entities. But now that these are less like contracts and more like partnerships, they've got the full-on transformations. That's so cool! I love it. I love it. Okay, so that is Black Clover. Oh, Volume 24 looks okay. I guess this must be like the first post-time skip one. Like when we see extra beefy Asta for the first time. Because it's not that distinctive, and it isn't the like, oh, look at the Dark Triad, they're so badass. It is like focusing mostly on Asta's visual. Let me check what the others look like, though. I might be talking out of my butt. Like, has Asta been prominent? Not really. The last time we had big Asta on the cover was Volume 14. And yeah, like that was during the tournaments. Like that's the Langris Finral showdown, it looks like. Honestly, really cool restraints too, because yeah, like that is actually 2 volumes in a row where we had Asta. Over here we had Asta. But then this is a long stretch with 0 like Asta focus. Actually, wait a minute. Oh, is Volume 20 Asta? It looks like it's all the bulls. Yeah, it is. Okay, never mind. It wasn't as long as I thought it was. Okay, let me walk that one back. Still, good chapter. Like it is the highest versus the lowest. If I didn't have to go do real world stuff for a sec, this would have also been like, a 7-second read. But yeah, within the confines, I've already made my rant, not going back to the rant hole, not gonna do circular logic again. This was really fucking cool. But also, that's all 5 of Asta's minutes now. I mean, to be fair, he was literally just trained to do this. So maybe it is a, like, he can do it in 5-minute intervals, but he can do it, 10 times a day. Then also, with the theme of, surpassing your limits right here, right now, we could have the thing of, Asta saying, I don't have my powers, I can't do anything, or, I can't, we can't do Devil Union, so I'm going to stay back for a bit, I'm going to join one of the other groups, and we're going to do some more teamwork stuff. And then when they finally go and save Yami, I feel like he'll be able to push through his weaknesses and get another 5 minutes, or even longer. I think it's going to stay at 5 minutes, though, like, for the foreseeable future, because of the 5-leaf clover on his body. And, like, even the headband is, like, 5 points. It, like, 5 is a big theme, so it would feel really weird if he could do it for 10 minutes. Like, I think 5 minutes is going to be the limit for a while, like, maybe for the rest of this arc, maybe going into the next arc, and then at some point, he'll probably, like, surpass having a limit at all. Or it won't be a numbered thing, it will be a, like, now it's just an arbitrary amount of energy. Because, like, yeah, even the timer feels, that feels like a real, they have so much untapped power, and it's just that Asta and Liba can't handle being in union for that long. Well, yeah, obviously, because Noct can do it for however long he wants. I mean, no. The other thing was that Liba, yeah, sorry. I'm forgetting the series. Right. Noct can do it because it's not a partnership, because he completely suppressed the other devils that he's contracted with. Whereas, like, Asta and Liba can get more power because it's an equal partnership, but also, like, it's too much, and that's why they have the 5-minute limit right now. So yeah, I'm guessing the 5-minute limit's probably going to be around for a long time. I think, like, in the same way that the Witch Queen had to, like, mess with Asta's body in order to, like, get him into half-devil for the first time. Like, in the same way, I feel like we're going to need another paradigm shift with his body. Or, like, he's already got the one arm that he sacrificed. So he might end up having to do, like, a full body sacrifice, whatever that means. Like, before he can surpass the limiter, because, like, his body can't physically get that much stronger. Like, he's still growing up, and, being a kid means that you aren't, you're not at your limits. Adults are just physically stronger than children. Like, an adult and a child, same body, if you make a 25-year-old who's been, like, fighting in peak condition all his life, fight his 15-year-old self, the 25-year-old usually should win. Apart from just naturally aging up, which could happen. Like, we already did a time skip. I don't think there's anything else he could do other than, like, some weird hijinks to change his body physically. Like, maybe another, this would kill anyone who had magic, but because you have no magic, we can, increase your anti-magic glands. We can give you another anti-magic stomach or whatever. Okay, that's Black Clover. That's enough. Got an easy time ranking this one. I also have an easy time saying whatever I want, because, if you're watching this, you can't stop me in real time. You can't give me advice. I can do whatever I want. There's some benefits to doing this. I would much prefer not, but yeah, like, this is not a paradigm shift. I'm going back to live streams later. Just, right now. I'm taking it as it is. Next is the Elusive Samurai, Chapter 13. So, I guess Earman alerted the guards. Earman seems to be the big enemy of this arc. Or of this, like, mini arc. Protecting you isn't my job, so if you want to live, try to keep up. I mean, Tokiyuki's gonna be just fine. If it means, not being seen or getting away, I think, is actually the big one that he's good at. Not being seen isn't something Tokiyuki hasn't had, like, it's not something he's had to do. Most of the times when he's, like, evaded someone in series thus far, like, they've seen him zipping away. It's been very obvious that it's him. So this actually might be a bit of a wrinkle. Though even then, like, if they say, oh, Tokiyuki did it, or, I guess, no, they would recognize him, if they would recognize him, they would recognize him as being the, I forgot his name, but, like, the servant boy. The one that beats Yorishige-sama. I'm sorry, I don't remember the names very well. Infernal Ears, 1333. Okay. No, Yorishige is Monkman. Boy, I need to make a list. I thought these names would, like, really rub off on me after a little bit, but the series doesn't say a lot of names that often. They do say Yorishige quite a bit. That's why I remembered the name. But as for, like, the villains thus far, oof, could not say. Ah, the way his eyes are drawn are so cool. Like the fact that it's not just closed eyes, but that it's an almost like a Spider-Man, like, it's a very Western comic book, like, I'm wearing this mask that has a, white slit thing. I guess Genba also does the same thing, except he's wearing an actual mask, whereas this guy is just, like, that's just his face. That is just, presumably, his eyes are closed, but just a little cracked open. It's a really cool look, like, it makes his eyes look really distinctive. It also gives him, like, also with the nose, it gives him a very animalistic energy. Oh, he's even got, like, I guess those must be hairpins or something? Like the little bumps there? Yeah, he's definitely supposed to look like a rat, I think. I mean, for a shot made entirely via, hearing, that's pretty unbelievably good. Oh, he's too smart. Oh, those aren't hair clips. I think those are just, like, loops of hair. It's also really bold, actually, to, like, whether those are meant to be claws or, like, animal ears. I assume animal ears. Like, his big thing is human ears. So to have that there, like, it doesn't bother me. It just looks really cool. It makes him feel very distinctive. Like, Yusei Matsui is killing it with the character designs. Not really with the allied characters. The allied characters are all kind of bleh. Like, I can tell them apart. Like, they're all obvious, but they're not that cool looking. Whereas the villains thus far have been great. How do you handle this one? Because I also imagine, like, doing the imitation move probably isn't going to work against him. He's definitely going to notice, like, oh, the timbre of your cadence is slightly different. That's not really you. Ah, that too, actually. Like, the clay mask thing, I don't understand it, but, like, if you visually see your boss and then he talks, like, the visuals sell a lot. That immediately would make you go like, oh, if there's any difference in his voice, he might just have a cold, or he just woke up, or whatever. So Tokiyuki's gonna be the one to get out of this. Like, Genba's lost. I was too focused on teaching this naive brat the ways of the world and watching as his trust in others crumbled. Is that what you were doing? I mean, that's what you were trying to do. It sure didn't seem like that was working, though. Of course, Tokiyuki's like, yeah, you're giving us both away. Non-Bokucho tag, all-hearing demon, Ichikawa Suifu. Oh my god. The mouth in the ears is such a strong visual. Also, like, he's been nailing the, like, the boss images. I really appreciate this isn't a, like, full one-page boss image. Like, because if he had the teeth in the ear here, it wouldn't be that impactful. Or if it was just teeth and ear without, like, a cool full body pose, that would also not be as cool. This is the full package. Like, even if I do not remember these characters' names, like, I think that's really just a problem with presentation. Like, this is a weekly release. If, like, in the volumes, if they, like, retypeset this completely, like, you can never do vertical text in English that looks really good. But if they could, like, retypeset these to give off the same energy, or if I could just read Japanese, that's the bigger one, I feel like these would be unbelievably iconic. Like, these are the shots that would make me go, oh, I'm never gonna forget this character's name. Like, this is the iconic moment. Oh, crap! I mean, that can't be a trick, right? That's cutting into his flesh. There's blood. Jeez. But okay, so the tip stopped in there. Yeah, like, most of the energy went into Tokiyuki, but that also slowed the blade, so now it's stuck. I mean, that's a bold move. Like, that's showing Genba, like, I'm not just hiring you. I'm going to actively try and save your life. I care that much. Oh, and yeah, the tree stopped the blade, but, like, the impact was still, like, it sent him flying. But yeah, like, it didn't go into his organs or anything. It most likely didn't, like, slice into his spine. Like, it is relatively shallow. Tokiyuki's so cute. Usually when I say cute, there's usually some subtext, but when I'm saying it about Tokiyuki, I do legitimately just mean cute. Like, he has this chipmunk energy to him. Like, that plus the blushing, like, he's so... he has the feeling of just someone having fun. And even here, like, where he's being serious, he's like, yeah, I tried to save your life because I wanted to apologize for doubting you. Like, he's not goofy about it. He's just earnest. I get why you would follow this boy to your grave. Even if you're in big trouble or you turn traitor, I will always flee by your side. And yeah, this is the first kindred spirit he's found. His other retainers are all just, good at their jobs, but they're very much like their default helper characters. They have their own things going on, but he doesn't care that much about them. Whereas Genba is the first person who has been someone who scurries around and runs away, and he's a bit of a rebel. Like, they have similar energies. I fully buy this. Countless people betrayed Tokiyuki, but there is no record of him betraying others. Those days were rife with treachery and division, but he stayed on the straight path of the warrior. That's really cool. Also, countless people betrayed Tokiyuki makes me very worried. Like, I don't trust his retainers. I also don't even, I don't trust Genba. I do think this is a good way to show Genba that he's legit, but he could always sell him out near the end. Like, this is fundamentally not a story about a big historical figure, so at any point, something really bad can happen. I'm sure Yusumatsu is going to, romanticize it more. Like, I think we'll know when his downfall happens, but it's gonna be there. Interesting ship. Ichikawa don't know. I like Ichikawa a lot. So now it is Ichikawa and Sadamune. Yeah, it's the ultimate eyes and the ultimate ears. Plus, Sadamune is just genuinely good at, shooting with the bow. So I guess even if he's blind firing, he'll be precise enough. Oh, look at this. This pose is so strong. And we've even got the go, 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 go. Yeah, this feels like this has big, earlier JoJo energy. I don't think modern JoJo would have a pose like this because it's too focused on, having everyone feel super chiseled and separate. Even in shots that are, characters side by side, I feel like Araki now tries to draw them more separately. It's more easy to pull them apart or to, cut them away from each other. Whereas this is such a perfect combo move, look. I'll be happy for them, but I don't ship it, because I don't like Sadamune at all. As a human being, he's a piece of garbage. But I am in awe at this look. This look is supreme. And the placement of these heads is unbelievable. And in the back of his head, he's like, Lord, that's more like it. Yeah, don't call me silly. But okay, so Genba's getting serious. And this is his pride. Tokiyuki is not going to say, save me. Tokiyuki probably thinks he can handle this, but Genba's going to finally prove his worth and say, you know what? I have some honor. As a thief, if I see that you nearly died saving me, I gotta try and help you out. The recommended series, I mean, I know these are somewhat random, but Build King and Buso Renkin. Build King, I get because, it just ended. That's probably just a general, if I go to the end of a lot of these, it's probably going to say, hey, you should read Build King, because it's all done, it's all released. Buso Renkin, interesting. I've never actually read Buso Renkin. Do let me know if I should at some point. I mean, I gotta stop, getting into Shueisha series, but they're good at attracting talents. And also, they got a big backlog that's really good. But I can't read them on the channel, which is the problem. Anyways, this was a much better chapter than usual. I'm getting into it, but I feel like the Elusive Samurai might be a series I drop just because I don't get hyped for it. I'm liking it. This was a great chapter, but I feel like it's going to drift to the bottom as always. I mean, we'll see especially with the two new series that are very wildcardy. But it's a series I very much enjoy passively. And I don't know if people really want to see me enjoy a series passively. That's not what a reaction is for, is it? When I watch a reaction and the person reacting just kind of goes yeah, that was a good one, throughout the whole thing, it's not that interesting. It's not that engaging. So we'll see. This might be my first drop, not because I don't believe in the series, but drop because I don't know if it's good content. Do let me know how you feel about it, though. Are you watching these? Do you like them? Next, we have the brand new series, Candy Flurry. Lollipops are a special kind of candy to me. If I get one as a reward, I don't eat it all up in a day. First, I enjoy how it looks. Then, I undo the wrapper with anticipation. But after I'm done eating it, I look at the stick and feel a little sad. And this is her as, a really small kid, too. So I wonder if we're going to do the, like, this is how I felt as a child, but now I hate them. No, I don't think. I think it's going to be a, like, like, they're still special to me. I still love them, but they have a different meaning now. That's what you do with a lollipop, right? This shot is, like, this is the shot that, Zip Man sold itself with, is it not? I mean, I know lots of series have probably done that exact move, but, like, it stands out for Zip Man because every time I saw anything mentioning Zip Man, like, there's this, which I think was, like, the cover of Jump, but anytime, like, yeah, there we are. Anytime Viz was trying to sell, like, hey, it's Zip Man, or even, like, for the final chapter. I got an email, I think, for the final chapter. And for the final chapter, the art they used to promote it was this shot, which isn't, like, it's not one-to-one. But it is the, like, over here on the right, you got the big physical thing, and then over to the left, you got the monster. I think this is different enough that, like, I'm looking too deep into it. I don't think anyone else would, like, look at this and go, oh, this is obviously a Zip Man reference, or this is inspired by Zip Man. But it's nice. Like, it's got the very hard, like, here's a very calm idea, and then hard cuts to big battle, I'm gonna fight the Donut Man. And also, like, this is a giant person, so it's not just a, normal-sized human beings that spawn candy. Cindy Toy Toys candy is the best in the world. Only 100 pieces of limited edition candy were made. Each one has a unique surprise. No two are alike. Get the right one just for you. This is actually really, like, it gives me very big, I think just because I've been playing New Vegas, this does give me big, like, Fallout vibes. It's such a, like, immediate throwback energy thing. Okay, so there's only 100 of them. It is the, like, if you ate one of them, you gained the ability to create sweets. It sounds like a dream, but it was real, and because of that, Tokyo was decimated. And okay, so this was the cover. So this might have been our main character. Okay, so this is also the reason why we would have the fact that this was done by someone who ate a toy candy. Like, that immediately gives me a big, like, okay, so, Pete, you're probably not going to be beloved by the community if you have one of these powers. Especially because it isn't, like, a mutant thing. It is a, like, you actively gained this ability. Granted, you're probably a kid. Like, I imagine a lot of this is also going to be, like, was this 5 years ago? Like, 5 years ago, Tokyo was decimated. But we don't know when this happens. But yeah, that would be a very easy, like, a bunch of parents bought these candies for their kids, and that's why the characters who would have these abilities would all be teenagers. Even after they stopped selling them, there was a spike in criminal activity by sweets users affected by toy candies. This feels like a relatively small problem, though. Call the recette now. We have to catch them. Oh, fuck. What does recette mean? I know what that means. I took French. Also, I did play Recettear a lot. I mean, I know the main character was named Recette, but is that a word that means sweets? I thought it was, like, is that just, it's not just, that might just be receipt, I think. Or, why would it be receipts, though? There's no way. Today, sweets are still considered an indulgence, but are also seen in a whole new light. They're weapons. Okay, so she still likes sweets. Also, I guess they must be candy, so, like, I doubt there's probably a cream puff vendor. I wonder if you can physically buy lollipops, though. I mean, I feel like you probably still would. Like, they would have a negative reputation to them, but at the same time, like, there's a difference between the giant lollipops that destroy Tokyo and having a lollipop. Like, I imagine it was probably very taboo for, like, the first year or so, and then they went back to normal. Okay. Oh, this is a strong contrast. So yeah, like, she's not the cutesy girl that everyone thinks she is. Or, like, she can put this on if she really wants to, but she's got a little more crassness to her. Of course, this isn't enough for lunch. This is for my 8 a.m. snack. I'm normal, except for one thing. I'm a lollipop user. Now, how does this work? I feel like this guy would have sold her out, like, if he goes to prison. Like, so, is she going to just kill him? Like, how do I put this? I'm questioning whether this is going to be a series where sweets users are killed or not, because there's only 100 of them. Like, 100 is, it's a fair bit, but it's not that much. Especially over, like, years and years and years. Like, Kamen Rider tends to do the, like, depending on the series, like some series do literally have like 50 monsters in them because the series itself is going to take place over 1 year. And so like whether it is like, like you literally don't need to have that many monsters to have a new monster of the week every single week, plus the, like big boss battle with the final boss, or, the occasional two-parter. I say occasional two-parter as if Modern Rider doesn't do almost entirely two-parters for a lot of the time. Well, not immediately. For a while, they used to be very two-parter heavy. Anyways. That is all to say that, like, 100... I guess if they've been lying low, but it seems like the series is trying to tell us that, like, a lot of Sweets users commit crimes. In which case, like, wouldn't they go on a crime spree and then be beaten really fast? Or either that, or go on a crime spree and then never be stopped, and then just be, on the lam? No one knows about me, as far as I know. So, is this guy dead, or is he just knocked out? And it seems like we are keeping it ambiguous as to... Oh, first of all, so, like, she shrank it down. It didn't, like, disappear, turn to smoke. She did shrink it down, so does she need a lollipop in order to use her abilities? Because, yeah, we don't see her, like, pull this one out, but it's very possible that she did it, just briefly, in between panels. But also, like, this doesn't say one way or another whether she did this or not. Like, it is the I'm a lollipop user. Like, if she said, I'm the lollipop user, that would be an immediate, like, she probably did this then. And this doesn't have to be villainous. It could definitely be a, like, someone was immediately going to try and destroy all Tokyo, or someone did destroy all, because there's not that many lollipops even. Like, there's a fair few, but it doesn't seem like it rained lollipops. It doesn't seem like there was literally a candy flurry. So it's very possible that, like, some other candy user did a lot of the damage and then, like, just made all their candy disappear, whereas she couldn't make hers disappear, and so that's why they were still there. And everyone just kind of assumed? Maybe? Oh, a fork. Alright, so the Reset are the Sweets Police. Fair. Did he just kill that guy? They're unable to speak at the moment. I'll bring him in. Because he was going good, and then he, like, stepped on his head. Like, because he's bringing them in, I'm guessing they're not dead, but still. And how does this work? Like, why is this a giant fork? Do they also, like, did they get special technology from a different company or something? Or are they just, like, themed like this? Okay, so they are a special organization. So, like, are they government or are they just some other people? That's cool. If I were found out, they'd come after me. I'd have nowhere to go, and then I'd end up like this pig. This woofing pig. Okay? This pig has to be important, right? I can't believe we have multiple panels of her just mocking this dog pig for the fact that it is homeless, it's going to be rained on. But I guess it does show that, like, there's hardness to her. Like, she's not a good person. She's not, it doesn't seem like she's evil necessarily, but also, like, to be fair, all she did here was defend herself. There's nothing that she's done so far that has been, like, completely good or, like, heroic. Okay, so she did, like, leave her umbrella there. Cool. Never mind. That's actually a really cool 1-2 punch. Like, because that also, like, it does add multiple layers to her. It is the, like, people might assume that she's very fluffy and sweet on the outside, but, she's got some bitterness there. She's more complex. She's a bit of a hard ass. But even below the, like, the general bitterness and, like, not, like, being an imperfect person, even below all of that, there's still sweetness. Oh no, the classic. It's exchange student time. I wonder how many Reset members... Also, wait... Why is this is a high schooler? Why is there a high schooler in Reset? I fully understand, like, I can intuit why a lot of Sweets users would be high schoolers at this point. But for what purpose? Why is it not Sylvester Stallone with a giant fork? So he's not that innocent. He knows. He's trying to suss it out of her. Yeah, he totally suspects you. And so, okay, that also makes me a lot happier that this isn't just I guess he's, he just, moved into my class. How did that happen? Like, he clearly, like, decided to do this because he was suspicious. Oh boy, what is this look? This boy cannot stop. It's been a while since I've seen this hair. Like, it is just straight up Kuwabara's hairstyle. This boy has the aura of someone who is going to be attacked by a sweets user and who she needs to save at some point. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen this gag before. This is a fine gag. Also, like, so far the art hasn't been anything special, but I like the composition well enough. I also appreciate that, like, we get the big zoom here, but it's not that he was physically there. We zoomed in, but he's still walking this whole time. Okay. And also, like, I do appreciate that this has been, like, he's been rejected 36 times. It's not that she has kept it ambiguous. She has said no over and over again. And this time, like, she was stunned for a bit, but she did straight up say, I don't like you. Okay, we're already setting up. There are multiple members of Rosette in the school already. And you know what? Okay, this is also pretty good. Like, he's a stand-up guy. He's not going to beat the tar out of them using his special abilities. Or even, like, you know, even with normal force. Like, it is a straight-up, like, a Rosette agent never uses force against civilians. So, he didn't even defend himself. He just got beaten. He's enough of a weird, sad sack that I'm getting into it. I'm okay with him right now. Now, is he just doing this in order to lure her into his trap? I don't think so. I feel like he's going to genuinely just be a lost cause. Like, I think he has good, like, instincts on the job, but off the job he's probably hopeless. And yeah, fair enough. Like, especially if he lived in Tokyo or if he had family in Tokyo, like, I mean, and even beyond that, like, if sweets users are committing horrible crimes and, like, doing lots of damage, I can see why he would not have a taste for sweets. Oh, and you can still see the lollipops from over there. Like, they haven't cleaned it up even. Over the last 5 years. That's a wild one. Huh. I don't know if I've ever actually broken a lollipop into pieces and eaten it. This is probably a big one, actually. I don't know if I have interrogated this part of myself. But even, like, when I've gotten a really big one, I mean, I feel like occasionally I've gotten a really big one and I've just not consumed it because I was too enormously big. But I've always assumed the point was you lick it, like, even if it's a giant one. I've seen people bite them, but I've always assumed that wasn't what you're supposed to do. Like, with the small ones, I definitely just, like, suck on them. But yeah, also, because he is, like, a Rosette agent, I imagine it's a lot like, you know, working at a slaughterhouse and deciding you don't want to eat meat anymore. I wonder what the lollipop user is like. I mean, I can't believe it's been 5 years, and also, the lollipops all look exactly the same. Like, they haven't been worn away at all. I'm surprised, like, because I thought, like, a series like this, I think, could get a lot of energy out of, like, melted lollipops, or, like, you know, eaten away lollipops. Like, you know, make them look gross. But okay, so it seems like we're implying that, you know, that she didn't do this. Huh. Oh, that's a strong visual. I'm sorry, we underestimated how much his donut could expand. We had no idea fried sweets could expand that much. Huh, I wonder if he's going berserk then. Like, did he come here explicitly to try and kill her? My identity. That day, when everything was destroyed, I watched as lollipops rain down. I saw the culprit behind the destruction. No two sweets users can have the same powers, but I saw another lollipop user that day. And to be fair, that does make sense as, like, cover. I mean, we have no idea why this happens. Like, it is such a... Here's a, you know, a wild idea for the first chapter. But it doesn't feel like a, you know, this is never going to get explained mystery. This feels like it has a very, like, it feels like there's a conspiracy behind this. Like, I'm definitely guessing that there are multiple ones, and the reason they ran this ad and they gave out free sweets was explicitly so they could, like, have people who could do stuff like this. Like, you know, have double agents. Because that would also actually explain the, you know, the whole, people who use, like, sweets users tend to be, like, big criminals. Like, if they did the doubling move of, we're going to sell these to criminals, or we the people at Cindy Toy Toys Candy are going to have these abilities, and then we can, you know, hide amongst general society by saying, you know, the person who has this ability is this person over here. It's this person who, like, publicly used it in a YouTube video or something. Like, because they're manufactured, there's no reason why there can't be, you know, two of the same one. The only weird thing would be that it's been 5 years and no one's noticed two of the same, but then again, like, if it is a conspiracy, I could definitely see it being done in a very, you know, yeah. So there are, like, she at the very least believes there too. There could always be the big twist of, oh, it was her mind. She was doing it, but she was disassociating. And it is a blonde person. Like a blonde kid, probably her age. It could be Misaki. Oh, he's not doing good. Oh, the blup sound effects of his blood coming out. Ugh. I don't choose to help. Besides, I don't want to see any more people suffering because of sweets. So I'm guessing in this chapter, we're probably not going to get the explanation of what is going on with Rosette. But at the very least, I want to see if he has an ability or something. Like, does he literally just have a giant weapon? Or is there a reason why he can fight these things? So, either, like, I think we are going to, yeah, because he's also going berserk now, so we're going back to the start of the first chapter. So, maybe it's either she's going to just throw caution to the wind and just genuinely attack and let him see her, or maybe, like, the lollipop is so big that she can use it to censor herself. Getting that first narration again. If I get one as a reward, I don't eat it all up in a day. First, I enjoy how it looks. Then I undo the wrapper with anticipation. But after I'm done eating it, I look at the stick and feel a little sad. That's what you do with a lollipop, right? Okay, so it isn't that she has to have one on her. She can, like, spontaneously generate them. I mean, that would make more sense with Donut Man. Like, why would, like, after they took him away, why would they let him still have donuts near him? Okay, so he, at the very least, he sees the lollipop. He should be seeing her. The mangaka could still play it off as he was so focused on the lollipop he didn't see her. Also, like, with this narration, I'm wondering, what if it is the same one? Like, it seems, we don't know if this, how do I put it? I assumed devil fruit rules with these lollipops, or with, the candies. Like, you eat a little bit and then you get the power, and that's why there's only one of each person. But if, her thing is, she doesn't immediately eat her lollipop, and she, she savors it. What if it is if you physically have the candy, then you can use it? So someone stole it from her, like, she physically had it in her room, and then when she was, like, out on a walk, someone stole it, used it to destroy Tokyo, and then, like, in the wreckage or something, she found it, then ate it, and gained the power. Because I imagine her parents don't know about it. Like, if she has parents. Oh, that's a satisfying strike. Like, the perspective flip here is so impactful. It really sells the power of the blow. I wanted to show you that it's easier to eat a lollipop when you break it into pieces. But you know what? The mangaka nailed it. It is corny, but it's a cool moment. I get it. I like it. And of course, we're going to end it with the big climactic, you showed this to me of your own goodwill, but I still have to defeat you. And then in chapter 2, he will not defeat her. And okay. So it isn't just, like, it's not that she's, heartbroken or friend broken. Like, at the very least, she gets to have the catharsis of saying, that wasn't me. Which makes sense, like, I could definitely see the series going on they team up and then they do look into the conspiracy of how could there be two of them? We only assumed there was, one of each one because that's what the company said. Like, there's so many open questions here. And I am actually quite happy that we didn't pack all the answers into one chapter. It feels more like an older shonen series. It feels like something that isn't terrified of being canceled immediately. Yeah, I'm okay with it. We're gonna have to really see how the combat is later on. Because so far, it's been very, I do a big swing with my lollipop. And it seems like Misaki's move is going to be, I stab you with my giant fork. Plus, the fact that there's only 100 of them, and I have to imagine a bunch of them have been taken down at this point, right? Like, I'm curious to see how this handles it. Because also, like, only having 100 does actually make it a lot more possible of a threat to deal with. If One Piece's thing was, we have to kill every Devil Fruit user, that would be insane. But if it is specifically, like, we have to... I suppose, like, the big theme is also going to be, candy ain't bad. So if it is going to be we have to find the mystery of the person who destroyed Tokyo, and we have to, prove to the world that candy users aren't bad people. I'm honestly really in love with the idea of it being like the fact that candy users are seen as being criminals. The idea of that being a conspiracy, or the idea of that being doubles using that to frame innocent people. I That would actually really sell the series if that were to be the case. Like it's a pet theory, and I know pet theories can be bad, but it's really vibing with me right now. I really like the concept, and I really like the concept of the chapter itself. It's solid. The action is good. The characters look good. It's nothing super standout. Also, this pig. This gag is too weird to be a throwaway gag. But it does have the big, old shonen energy. I'm hoping they strike a strong balance between answering questions and, choosing to leave things unsaid that don't need to be quite said in order to preserve the mystery and to keep the world interesting. Because so far, the world is a weird mix. Like, the only super weird non-candy thing has been that pig. But that is enticing because it is a very clear, there's something weird going on here. It's not just our world, but with one big twist. Now, I am disappointed in the way the main character is drawn. I said that at the start, that I really hoped that there would be more, whites and grays in her hair to get across the way her hair is dyed, but she looks like she just has black hair. And to be fair, this could just be a fun coloring thing. Like, the mangaka could just be going for I like to, put colors in my character's hair. Or, the light around the room is shining on their hair, and it looks more, what's the term for that? Like, that might be what they're going for. It makes their hair look a little more like candy. But if that's the case, if she just has black hair, that's not cool. Like, her look is already pretty generic. But yeah, I'm sold enough on it. It's not an immediate drop. And for a debut chapter, it was decent enough. It doesn't feel like a world-shakingly good first chapter, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm popping it above the Elusive Samurai. Maybe. Actually, I'll put it below. This was a good Elusive Samurai. I don't want to, overstate how good Candy Flurry was. It still has a lot of proving to do. Next, we have Blue Box Chapter 2. You have to go to Nationals. We've got the girl. She is drinking an energy drink. This is the colors in Blue Box so far have been really strong. I really like this mangaka's propensity towards, the very, bloom heavy shots, I guess. He manages to get that glowing feeling across without it looking digital. I don't think he drew this and then put a filter over it. It looks like he did actually draw it this way. Okay, so she's moved in. She's walking up my stairs, standing in the kitchen with my mom, and eating sushi. Just confess. I do like this analogy, though. Oh, boy. He's gonna have to increase his ability to handle the situation real fast. Otherwise, he's going to just be catatonic. Of course, you gotta get in the I love jump. It's a classic move to make sure you don't get canceled. Make sure your characters read jump and think jump is good, and they promote jump in the series. And yeah, it's not that he's a stranger, but this is a strange situation, and she's going to be living alone with this entire group, so yeah, I'm really glad that's this allows her to calm down a little bit. Granted, this is ironic because, of course, he can't calm down. But maybe this will help. Maybe this will get him to realize, maybe I should hold it together. If I act weird and creepy and distant, then it's going to put her on edge and it's going to ruin her life. But okay, so he is pulling it together. He is realizing, oh, yeah, if that's the case, if she's fine with this, then I'm just acting like an idiot. I hope we don't do the big swerve of, oh no, she was also super nervous about all of this. I think the series so far has really sold her as being, as feeling cool, as feeling calm and collected. Now, why did he say this? Why are you so energized about? Shouldn't you be down in the dumps? That's such a weird take. I guess because he knows him. Because he does know, oh, you're a hopeless, weird incel boy. You should feel really bad about this. He wasn't used to the idea of, oh, maybe you just realized that you were being dumb. Okay, so we're adding this level of the series. If anyone were to know that you lived with her, they would destroy your life. And yeah, I can appreciate that now. Like, I think he missed his easy, how do I put it? Like, I do genuinely understand the idea of right now, because she, is no longer with her parents, she has no way to back out, and she has decided to stay with my family in order to go to nationals. Like, in this situation, I can't try and, like, pressure her into being in a relationship. Like, if he had confessed prior to this, it would have been completely 100% fine. If he confesses, once, she has some time to settle in and she's not feeling scared and nervous and worried, that's also fine. But in this exact moment, this would be the worst possible situation. Like, I'm glad he has at least that much sense. Oh, we're doing a Bakuman? Or we're doing the big, if she goes to nationals and I go to nationals, then oh no. Okay, so that is his goal. Like, he's aiming for nationals. Huh. Don't really like this panel. Like, I get it's supposed to be the slightly more shaded, more detailed, more, like, impactful panel, but I don't think it looks good. I can't quite say why it is. I think just the way the detail is positioned looks gross to me. Like, specifically, like, the arm here and the, like, the big armhole, it looks weird. The leg here looks really stretchy and strange. I'd be more okay with, like, this leg in something like Chainsaw Man, where, like, Fujimoto does a lot of big, stretchy, squishy, like, inked things, like, in order to give more of a sense of movement. And I guess that's what this is supposed to be, but also, why is his leg moving? Like, this should be more black in order to, like, focus all the movements and all the detailing, like, on this shot. Even that I'm not super into. It just, but okay, he's doing it. I mean, this might be a good idea. Like, she is always watching him, but it doesn't seem like she's been giving him advice. So this would be a cool way to, get some form advice. And okay, yeah, that is a reveal. That's a good point. Like, he let it slip, and that is also cool. Like, she is clearly teasing him. Like, I don't think she fully gets what's going on, but at the very least, like, she's capable of being playful. She has a little of that older sister, like, Marceline energy that I really like. And yeah, like, I think that's part of the, why he always feels so lame. Like, it isn't just that she is, like, like, an older woman that he's into. It is specifically the fact that she has big sister energy that's really throwing him off. Wait, does she have one, or did she just make it for herself and then she gave it to him? Okay, so they do both have one. Don't take too good care of it. I feel like I've seen these before, but I don't think I've ever heard, like, that's the thing you're supposed to do. Like, you just leave it alone, and then when it starts to fall off on its own, that means your wish is about to come true. Because that's such a cool idea for an athletic series, for something where you would be putting a lot of strain on your body. Alright, so, feeling pretty lukewarm. Like, definitely going to the bottom. I get what the series is trying to do. Like, this was definitely more, like, feelings heavy than the first chapter, which, like, it was all about the character dynamics, but it also had a little more focus on the sport. This was definitely more of a, like, the characters growing closer together. But I think the problem is I get the connection, but it feels way too friendshipy. And if this was a, like, this is me and my best friends, I would be completely fine with it. The problem is that we immediately set up the, Taiki is in love with her, and she, likes him as a person, but is not in love with him. At least as far as we know. Like, the fact that this is a romance makes it less good to me, because it doesn't feel romantic. And, like, it doesn't have the extra over-the-top character dynamics of, like, the various, like, like, all the harem series I've, touched on the channel, where that is more of just I like to see these characters, like, connect, and I like to see these characters, like, play off of each other, and this is a cool way to do that, in a way where a more traditional shonen series wouldn't spend all this time on just having the characters bounce off of each other without there being something else that they're doing, or, like, a bigger plot that they're moving towards. Yeah, so far Blue Box has been sweet, but not, like, it's not substantial enough. Even something like Candy Flurry, which is, like, if nothing else, Blue Box is a really cool thing to try and do in Jump. Like, Candy Flurry isn't a very easy, like, any series like this could run in Jump, whatever. I want to give Blue Box props for the Moxie, but, like, I'll give it a little longer. I feel like, this also isn't a, like, oh, maybe if these characters cook a little more, I'll like them a little more. I'll still give it the classic 3 chapters, maybe a little more, but I'm not feeling it. And if I'm not feeling it, and, like, the series is clearly doing what it wants to do, the flavor it wants to give me is already there, it's already present. If this isn't what I'm into, then I don't think it's going to change into something I'm more into. So yeah, right to the bottom. These are good after, like, about a year or so of not talking about the recommended series, because I get that they're pointless, I'm finally fixated on them again, and this does feel perfect. This is a real, like, if you like the character dynamics, if you like the, like, romance angle, then I guess we never learn. And if you want a series about people doing sports, then Haikyuu. Like, those are both good picks. And there's really nothing else I can think of, like, on the Shonen Jump archive that is quite like this, for better or for worse. All right, next is 9 Dragons Ball Parade, Chapter 10. That last edit is going to be a little funky because I accidentally clicked over to the next tab, but I don't want to spoil anyone who, was reading the blue box or watching the blue box reaction, but you don't want to see 9 dragons. So I'll figure out a way to do that. I might just censor the whole screen. Is there anything this girl can't do? Like, she's definitely the best, like, a team manager I have seen in any series thus far. Like, she has so much enthusiasm, and she is doing so much. Also, like, the visual of her using the water bottle as a mic is just super, it's super cute. The makings of a great shortstop. So, I feel like we're, like, especially with the comment last chapter, I feel like what we're going to land on is, Tsubaki, you're a bad shortstop. You have ability, like, you can do it, but if you cannot, as a human being work with us, like, you're fine when we're working with you, but if you can't work with us, then you ain't a shortstop. You're just some weird gremlin on the field. What do you mean, Hokuto? That player is no shortstop. So, I guess we're gonna start to see the cracks in his armor. Is he going to intentionally drop it, maybe? Huh? A behind-the-back toss. Okay, so that is a, like, he thought this would be a good idea, but he didn't care about the rest of the team. And so instead of this being an easy, like, let's take him out real quick, instead they fumbled and now the other team's ahead. Oh, I really like this. Like, I'm really happy that we had, like, a chapter or two where, he had a little shittiness to him, but we didn't fully see his argumentative side. And the series didn't try to, like, force it in as a, like, he's a bad egg. Instead, it's played out really naturally. Like, now that he's actually trying to do stuff with the team, we can see how, like, not only is he going to, like, probably fly off the handle and scream at the ref, but also, like, he's not going to work with the team, which is fundamentally what a shortstop is supposed to do. While the shortstop and third baseman were bickering, 2 runners made it home. Thanks to that defensive error, it's now a 1-run lead. But okay, that's really cool. There's nothing I can say that I haven't already said. I love it. He's got so much gremlin energy. And that's also, like, that's way more of a nail in the coffin. The fact that 3 years ago, he was acting like this, and he has not changed in the slightest. And I get it, because, like, I think the 9 Dragons are going to be a team that, can actually try and break him in. Like, they can force him to go, like, listen, this is the problem. We're going to actually force you to do this. As opposed to just yelling at him and saying, you gotta work with the team. Like, he seems like the kind of person who needs not just constructive criticism, it seems like he needs an actual game plan. He needs someone to hold his hand and say, you gotta do this. Which, yeah, I get it. You'd make a great pitcher. You're gonna love looking down at everyone from the mound. From now on, you're a pitcher. Punch in the face via pitcher glove. Why do you do this to your best player? Why would you take me from a shortstop? And honestly, I get it. Like, I think it's actually really cool that the coach did try to play to his strengths. He was like, yeah, you're an egocentric asshole. You don't play with the team. You don't really have to play with the team if you're going to be a pitcher, so let's do that. Try that. And he didn't even try it. He did just smack him in the face with the glove and run away. And that also gives, Like, that also gives the Nine Dragons more of a thing that they can do. Like, now, part of their pitch can be, even if you would be a better pitcher, we'll let you be shortstop. But if we're gonna let you be shortstop, you gotta work with us. If you overstep your bounds again, I'll pinch your ears. Oh no, I've been here too. Like, the idea of him being so completely frozen, like, it's not even a ha ha ha, that was a joke. Like, he is actually so paralyzed with fear at having his ears pinched that he's not going to, like, catch it. Which also makes sense. Like, yeah, like, because he doesn't actually work with everyone to define where their roles are, like, he genuinely doesn't know how far he can go. Like, that's also something I think Azukita is going to be able to fix quite a lot, with the constant, like, here's the strategy, here's the, the battle meeting, come in super early, we're gonna go over these charts. Like, he feels like the kind of person who would be able to really drill in, even to someone this egocentric. I think he'd be able to force him to say, like, listen, this is the area you're allowed to be in, I will make you memorize it. Meanwhile, Ryudo is carefree as ever. Ryudo, did you forget that you were conserving your stamina? What he needs is a little confidence, but not so much confidence that he goes back to being the biggest douchebag. Like, how do you get him back in the zone? You think you can just laugh at how someone else chases the ball, but when it comes to your weaknesses, we're supposed to write them off? Okay. Yeah, so it is he is decent at tactics, it's just he's not talking to anyone about the tactics. So he sees what the problem is, he comes up with the extremely, to him, obvious fix, and then he just goes for it, and because he didn't tell anyone that he was trying to do this fix, or, he didn't signal or anything, no one knows what the hell he's trying to do. It's not purely egocentrism. Tsubaki has an eye for the best possible play, but it's no good if only Tsubaki sees it. Okay, we need to change your defensive strategy. Tsubaki, you're in charge of the infielders. So, interesting. So it's not just a, I'm going to, we all need to start reading signs. It is specifically, Tsubaki, you have control over, the infield. You can signal to them, so if there's, if you notice a really good play in the moment, you can tell them to, help you out with it. Or, if you, genuinely think that, it's your ball, you do the signal, they'll respect it, they'll, step away and you can get it. It's an interesting move. I feel like, especially for a Japanese series, I feel like the usual tactic would be, you have a lot of ego, so you need to, calm down. You need to, we need to not play into it. We need to, beat down that nail that's sticking up a little too much. But yeah, the whole point of the series is they are the weirdos. So it actually makes a lot of sense. It feels very individualistic to say, okay, if your problem is that you got a bit of an ego, that you want to have a little more control, we're going to give you a little more control. Because part of the problem is also, the part of his ego he's been tamping down is telling other people what to do. He just does the thing, and then he argues about it afterwards, instead of saying what needs to be done. And, part of this is because, if I called it out, then, Thorn would hear. But if they know how to do signals, that would erase that. Because also, I could see this being a problem later on, but it also, it takes away some of the extreme pressure from Azukita. He is the brains of the, of the team, but as the catcher, he can't exactly tell the entire team what to do at all times. He can, teach them what to do. He can make them run drills and stuff, but in the moment, it would make sense to delegate. Because it also means that they're not going to, only be doing the stuff that they settled on when they huddled. By giving Tsubaki the ability to, do more calls, it allows him to be a lot more flexible. Cool. Yeah, that's... Does this beat Black Clover this week? I think so. I had problems with this week's Black Clover. It was a good chapter, but it was a little eh. This feels like a good combo of really cool stuff, actually moving the character forward, and also, it feels novel. It doesn't feel like a chapter I've already read. Yeah, Nine Dragons continues to impress me. I do hope that... as long as the series continues to be relatively slow when it comes to talking about, baseball stuff, it should be okay, because I don't know that much about baseball, but, the way in which we've introduced everything has been keeping me in play. This was a little tricky, the double play. I feel like if I had no idea about anything with baseball, that would be a little too confusing, but Yeah, like even here, like we get the diagram. It makes sense. I can see like, this is the way it was supposed to work. Okay. Nine Dragons good. Let us move on to Undead Unluck, Chapter 60. Master Shen, why do you wish to be the strongest in all creation? Also, by the way, it's Chapter 60. I should probably say that on the Discord, Homie did give me the quick, not even the fill-in, he just pointed out very obviously, Under has a thing that lets you, move age around. So like my big question was, oh, how could the teacher still be around? Did he, like reconstitute himself as a corpse? Is this his negator ability? It's almost certainly that he just, like, especially with this page, I'm guessing he just gave Shen's little sister the artifact that, transfers age, and then just made her, shoot her youth into him. Though even then, that wouldn't kill her. Because also, like, he's not de-aging himself to being a child. Like, presumably he de-aged himself to around this age, maybe a bit younger. Because, time has passed since then. I mean, we also had the, like, these two will have to fight to the death situation. So there's still, the reverse the artifact doesn't quite explain everything, but there's something there. Okay, and Shen is surprised that he was de-aged. So it clearly mustn't have been I used, your sister's youth in order to become this young. Untruth is an ability that only if it activates on targets Shen is fond of. Oh my god. That's really clever. I forgot about that. I mean, it's been so long since that's come up. Because, like, Shen's thing is also, he's the big smiley guy. Like, if he's fighting someone, he can make himself be fond of them. Like, in the moment, he can appreciate how well they're fighting or, how good they are. He can, say, not bad. And then that allows him to use his ability. But because he truly hates Feng, he can't use it anymore. That's so cool! On that fateful day, I always wondered why, after the great lengths she went to live with you, you let go of your hand, but now I see. Your sister didn't let go of your hand. You made her let go. That can't be it, though. How does that tie into it? Like, why would Shen see it as, my master killed my sister then, if he did it? I mean, it could have just been an accidental use. Like, a lot of tragedies in the series have stemmed from someone accidentally using their negator ability. You killed your sister with those eyes of yours, so that is the truth of the matter. Oh, this shot is so crisp. Like, this shot, like, Undead Unluck, it's second only to, like, Bleach in terms of knowing when to do a pure a pure white background for impact and when not to. Because, like, there's a lot of series that have come out very recently that do the, big white backgrounds, but I don't really think they tend to be that impactful. It feels more like just, oh, they didn't want to draw a background for this one. And to be fair, I'm not saying that Kubo, didn't have a bunch of times where he just clearly didn't want to draw backgrounds. But Undead Unluck, almost every single time the background is all white, it is a very clear, like, I want to focus only on the characters. I'm perfectly capable of doing the background, but the background would be distracting in the shots. Oof. Oh, and it shattered them, too. Like, unless these are, like, unless the artifact is something that makes the blades. If those blades were the artifact, that's one artifact down. This girl looks an awful lot like May. Is she your substitute sister? Now I feel so bad for pointing that out. I mean, it was extremely obvious, but still, I don't want to be on Feng's side. You become stronger whenever faced with despair. Come, Koktoon. It's the black... It's the, I mean, this might be an actual thing, now that I think about it. I thought Dragon Ball made this up, but... Actually, maybe Dragon Ball made it up, and this is just a reference to Dragon Ball. The black cloud that Cyborg Tao Pai Pai used to use to, like, ride around on. Like, the one that you can only ride on if you have a pure evil heart. The despair of death makes you stronger, so how much stronger will this girl's death make you? I wonder... Yeah, like, we are cutting away, so maybe we are gonna save the mystery of what exactly went on with Shen and his sister for a while. You have my gratitude. By killing Unrepair, you allowed me to gain the time control artifacts, under the condition that I restore him. Okay, so reverting him 15 years made me grow 150 years younger. Okay, that feels even weirder then. Huh. So he was already at least, like, considering this age, he looks like he must be, at his youngest, maybe 20s. He feels too built to be in his 20s, but let's say 20s. That would mean he was 170. And if he's any older here, that increases the amount of age he must have been at. And he hasn't, used a negator ability yet. So maybe it is, unaged. No, it can't be unaged. If it was unaged, he wouldn't be super old. Why kill the strong in their growth phase? Its fully developed form is what interests me. I get that, yeah, that is how you're supposed to write Ragnarok. It feels so weird seeing... I think it's because I don't believe the last time they wrote Ragnarok that they spelled it like that. I'm pretty sure it was just a normal O. So seeing Andy say it with that O feels so weird. But I mean, Shen is the perfect villain... Or sorry, Feng is the perfect villain for the situation. Because he is just I want to fight. I love fighting. I like fighting strong guys. I'm going to let this monster become stronger because it'll be stronger. I'm fine with us fighting God because it's going to be a big fight. Okay. The last time it happened was when he lost his sister before his very eyes. I saw strength intense enough to strike fear in my heart. I will recreate that moment and overcome that strength. Oh, actually, I just realized. The easy answer must be Feng threw, I forgot his name, or her name. Was it Mei? Yeah, Mei. He probably just threw Mei off the cliff, and then Shen, grabbed her hands, and then he accidentally used Untruth, causing her to let go. I will be the strongest in all creation. I will raise and kill both Shen and Summer, so you needn't worry about the quests. No one will get in the way of my conquests. And what are these dumph sounds? Are these heartbeats? It doesn't seem to be the boomf sounds of these bombs, dropping. Here we go. They're not taking this one down. And yeah, if Andy and Fuko are fighting here, that actually gives Shen a lot of time. Shen can do a quick, brain broken, oh no, how do I get out of this situation? How do I fight him? Here's my past. What can I do in this past? Did I really kill my sister? That'd be a good way to do the flashback in this arc. We could, play it out for a little longer, but I feel especially with this kind of character, he doesn't seem like the kind of villain who would do the full skedaddle. Clearly he's trying to do the, I'm going to make Shen stronger by running away. But I could see it also being Shen, in the moment, getting stronger than saying, fuck you, I'm the strongest in all creation now, old man. The last arc was very slow and very focused on, a character we hadn't really seen before. It was the Ano Un arc featuring Andy and Fuko, also featuring the entire series Undead Unluck. Whereas this feels like it's going to be much more kinetic, much more of a, direct battle-y arc. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this is going to go down, because again, we don't know is he even a negator? We don't know. He might just be someone who uses, artifacts. We haven't seen him use a strength one, but again, it could just be he has Game of Death, but he mostly is just so physically strong that it doesn't matter. Because I would be very down for a Shen versus Feng fight where they can't use their negator abilities and it's just martial arts. And the characters are just so strong that their unpowered martial arts are a spectacle to behold. Because that would still leave Andy and Fuko to go take out Summer. Good chapter, lots of speculation content. This is a real, I'm not going to linger on it too much because I feel like I've exhausted my ideas right now. But I'll definitely be thinking about it all week, which definitely bumps it up. It's not 9 Dragons level, but it's right under there. It feels weird putting 9 Dragons that high, but this was a good chapter of 9 Dragons Ball Parade. And it's not that this was a bad Undead Unluck. It's just, it was pretty straightforward. It's not the kind of thing I'm super duper into. Also, yeah, I'm just not that big of a fan of Andy's Vortex Fists. It's cool enough, but the twists don't really, it doesn't have the same, it doesn't give you the same glee as something like the Crimson, what was that again? Use the force of his blood to do the big spinny. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. That's Undead Unluck. Now, let's move on to maybe the final arc of this Dr. Stone chapter? Wait, that came out wrong. Dr. Stone, chapter 193. Here comes the big foom. So, if we toss some revival fluid straight up, we've got a slim shot of reviving ourselves. I mean, they've got a whole, pack full of them. So I think that it's honestly worth the gamble. Like, even if it fails, like, if it lands at their feet, it might still work. They probably shouldn't be right on the edge of this cliff, though. That feels like a recipe for dumpling over the cliff and being shattered into pieces. Now, I don't think that the smooth operator, the capable gal, Luna, is gonna pull this one off. I feel like she's gonna drop it. But I would rather have her try than Chelsea. This arc! Ah, this light of destruction is truly elegant. Senku, you and I could have owned this new world. We could have led it properly, and yet... So Stanley's going for the bullet gamble. The, can I shoot the, like... There's a 1/3 chance that the bottle is just going to fall and bump onto Suika and she's going to be the only survivor. There's a 1/3 chance that he shoots it, the bottle flies off, doesn't hit anyone, and then they just gotta wait another couple thousand years, and then hope that one of them breaks out faster than the others. Like, doomed forever, I think, doesn't really matter. Like, a couple thousand years ain't that much. I mean, I guess there's always the danger of Y-Man, you know, coming down on a UFO and just punching them in the face and breaking their statues and saying, all right, let's get rid of these protagonists. And then there's a 1/3 chance that he hits that bottle, he knocks it onto someone, you know, a member of the Americans, and then they win. If I don't shoot, we'll definitely lose. If I shoot, it's all but guaranteed to destroy humanity, but it's our one chance to win. God, these pauldrons. Like, this mask makes me so happy. Because it is like, you know, it's this giant mask that breaks open and then it's shoulder pauldrons. It's so 40k. Also, this gun is so chonky. It's so 40k again. I'm bad at art, so I don't think I would actually buy a minifig of Stanley, but I want to see someone paint a Stanley minifig. Like, he could be a great... I want to say Commissar, but I feel like that's an insult. So this is our parallel. So Stanley was the Taiju. I guess I can see that. I mean, I'm sure other people have already said that in the past, but I'm not sure if I see it. I'm not sure if I see Stanley as Taiju. I guess he is the, like, what if Taiju really loved guns? Like I told you 10 years ago. It wasn't exactly 10 years. It was 10 years and a couple thousand. But yeah, I don't even have a millimeter of interest in ruling over everyone. Truth is, my people and I are just full of desire. That hard cut to Ryusui as Senku says it. Instead of taking the world as it is for ourselves, we'd rather craft the world of the future. That's what gets me excited. Okay, I mean, yeah, they can't do anything else. They're just going stone. Stanley's the only one who could do anything here. I could lose this game, but Xeno will be revived and science will go on. As for my statue, they'll hold in exchange forever in exchange for his help. What would he do in this situation? Because again, like, it isn't completely selfish. It is the, like, you know, I might lose, but Xeno will be around. But if they use me in order to make Xeno, you know, if they turn Xeno into a slave because he loves me, like, yeah, I could see it. I don't think Stanley's going to make the shot. I feel like he's going to give up. Like, there's no good answer that 100% is the best for Xeno. Like, I don't think Stanley gives a shit about himself right now. I think it is a full-on, like, is Xeno going to be a slave as a result of this? Like, am I going to trust that these kids, given an even ground, will treat him fairly? Casting off that armor, lighting up a cigarette is his final action. Stanley is the most glam man in existence. David Bowie, eat your heart out. I didn't think we'd see Soyuz here. I really thought it would just be some other random people. Oh, and they even did, like, they have petrification drills. That's really cool. Like, seeing that Soyuz taught everyone, like, okay, in case of petrification, kneel down so you don't accidentally, like, tip over and break. And over here in the Kingdom of Science, they're doing the same thing. Are we going to cut to Y-Man? Like, we're going to the moon. Okay. I guess it's Chalk and that one pig that they were going to eat but didn't. Off to rule the world. They're going off on an adventure. Actually, legitimately. What if the Kingdom of Science taught Chalk how to find, like, what if they have some some revival fluid, and they just taught him, like, hey, there's this cave, if we turn to I don't know how they would teach him, if we turn to stone. But I wonder if they did teach him, like, if everyone's huddled over, what you should do is go get this bottle and break it. That's actually a potentially very ingenious, like, tiny solution that obviously, like, Senku and, the others and the Americans wouldn't be able to do because they don't have dogs. Like, we don't know how Chalk exists, like, as a fully domesticated dog. On that day, every human on Earth turned to stone. Z equals 193, our stone worlds. And the idea that is the big splash page that has the Dr. Stone logo, but that's not the ending. That's not the final page. However, this time around, the stone statues knew that before long, or perhaps in the far future, a day would come when they'd be revived. Now then, time to start counting. Is that Chalk? Is Chalk a Shiba? And yeah, with this shot in particular, I mean, this is so much time, though. Like, this seems like it is at least, like at least 2 years. Like, we have 2 different snowfalls here. At least, I think 3. That looks like a 3rd one. And to be fair, this doesn't impact the South American crew. This could just be, like, for years, like, Suika has to make more revival fluid, or they have to make more revival fluid. Like, they need to, build up a base in order to break everyone back out again. So it could be they're stranded. They can't go back to Japan right now. And so in the meantime, Chalk and this, yeah, they both definitely aged. So I guess the 2 of them, I guess they didn't have a, like, here's the cave where the revival fluid is, just break us right out. It seems like they're just going on an adventure to save everyone. Not at all what I was expecting. But yeah, I think this is a fake out. I don't think it's really going to take 3 years for... I mean, maybe it will. Because the whole point of the tower was, if a loud sound goes off, it'll break the revival fluid, and then revive Suika. So I guess it could be multiple years before any loud sounds happen, like, in the middle of the Amazon. It feels weird, but, like, it also depends on the amount of loudness. Like, is it a thunderclap? Like, are winds loud enough? Or, would very heavy winds not, like, do it? In that case, I think Chapter 200 is going to be the big, like, the Kingdom of Science is kicking once more. Like, we're actually, like, we got the Perseus, we made an agreement with the Americans. Everything's, like, we're going back into the main series. Because, yeah, like, 6 more chapters of just, we are just going to revive everyone again, and now we have new problems. Like, it's, how the heck are we going to, make more revival fluid? Especially since, actually, Suika doesn't know where the girls are. Like, the girls still have revival fluid, but they've been, turned to stone. And, oh no, I like Luna, but there's very much the possibility that Luna just kept on throwing the revival fluid jars, and smashing them because she was trying really hard to try and make it work out. But yeah, I like the ambiguity here. I was really on board for Chrome to come up with the automatic unstoning device, but I like the idea of it being a kind of, like, not hard, having it be a reset, having it thematically be a things are going back to zero. Like, the series is almost certainly not going to just redo the first 2 chapters, but, like, the world is turning back to stone. We're doing a hard reset. If there were any other civilizations that were, working, they're not working anymore until we go find them and break them out. It's so cool. Okay. It was impactful. And I do really like that the thing we landed on, like, we've already focused on the Kingdom of Science. We had enough there. Senku got to do the big ol', like, this is what we stand for. Like, we want to make a world that goes to the future, not one where we conquer it. But the majority of the emotional focus was on Stanley, who I really like, and I really appreciate this. I really appreciate that his decision was a hard, like, I could lose, but I would rather, have them win at this point, because anything I could do, if the chances are that I screw this up for everyone and I make Zeno lose all this time, like, it's not worth it. Because it also clearly sets up that, they're not going to keep him like this. I mean, if they let Ukyo, I'm sorry, not Ukyo, what was his name? Sociopath kill you with my spinny, staff man. Like, if they broke him out, or, if they were willing to let him still be around, then There's no way they wouldn't eventually let Stanley out. And I don't think it's going to be a long time. I feel like they're going to break him out pretty early as a very clear, like, listen, Zeno, we're not going to make you live alone as our servants. That's not okay. And Stanley is a great asset. We're going to break him out as a show of trust, as a show of, we know that, if you tell him not to kill us, he's not going to kill us. And we trust at this point that you're not, you're going to not, stage a coup. I think really, like, the little shots we had of baby Zeno and baby Stanley also really sold it to me. I just want these boys to be happy. Well, I'm excited to see what Chalk Quest is going to be like. What are they doing? How are they really going to save the Japanese side? They could, but how? Because the idea of them finding petrification fluid wouldn't have taken that long. So either they're spending a lot of time trying to root some out, or they're going to make some? But there's no way. That is unbelievable. I mean, maybe would Chalk have ever seen someone being broken out of stone? Because I could see it as, like, they never told Chalk how to do this. They never considered it. But now, like, over the course of years and years and years, Chalk is going to eventually figure it out. I don't know if that's within the wheelhouse of a dog, though. But, like, Dr. Stone does, like, give a little more intelligence to to animals in general. So I could buy it if, Chalk eventually finds some revival fluid and splashes it on someone. Like, having this panel be there is such a big, like, I don't think anyone predicted that Chalk would be important, or that this is the moment where Chalk gets to shine. Okay, that's enough of Chalk Quest. Good Dr. Stone. Hachi Mama. I mean, it's gotta go above 9 Dragons, right? Like, a part of why I'm so into this 9 Dragons is also, like, the big speculation and the big, like, the freshness of it. And this is something where, like, we've had, like, a full volume or so leading up to it. It's been an absolute, we know this is gonna happen, just how does it happen? Who gets petrified? Who is actually gonna die? Like, it's all been there. But yet, despite that, like, Inagaki and Boichi found a way to still make it impactful and still make it surprising in a different way. And that is astounding. It feels like a long time since Dr. Stone's been on top, but I'm giving it to him this week. All right, that is Dr. Stone. Next is My Hero Academia, chapter 309. So we've got some more Ketsubutsu alumni, or not alumni, just like, 30 years. Mr. Smith. Boomerang Man is very on the nose, but Mr. Smith. So can't be a child anymore. I guess that makes pretty. I assume that's going to be Deku saying that. That's going to be the, like, this was My Hero Academia up to this point. This was me as a little kid going, oh, I'm gonna be a hero someday. But now he can't. Now he has to just be a hero. Oh, cool. I guess this must be someone who can, like, make trees and stuff? Like, the way this is designed looks really weird. It looks like it's made out of shrubbery or something. And so I'm guessing it's probably, like, someone grew this using their quirk. Okay, and like, this did help them get through to these holdouts. Like, they might not actually go to the academy, but at the very least, like, they're willing to help. They don't hate these kids. But yeah, completely different vibe. And legitimately, this completely sells the whole Deku having this mask for 300 chapters, not using it's a thing. Like, it is such an easy, like, it doesn't feel like an obvious pull. It doesn't feel like it is a big, like, oh yeah, that's always been there, and now he actually has a reason to use it. You have Iron Maidens here, right? I assume they mean, like, something you can use to, like, lock him up. But have they said that before? Like, is Iron Maiden a general term for a, like, the capture device? That's Jailbreaker. It is honestly kind of cool that no one calls him muscular. Like, his name is not muscular. It is Jailbreaker. All Might, I'm headed back. So, this seems, like, interesting. Like, he's not just doing this on his own. He's got a little crew. I mean, maybe it is just Toshinori, but seeing Toshinori, like, wearing shades and, like, in this kind of outfits, like, trying not to look obviously like himself, that's really cool. Oh, so these are, I mean, They didn't name drop, oh boy, what was her name? I was just talking about her like a week or two ago. But, the girl from, the movie, Dave's, daughter. Like, that is the same technology. It's not the same thing. Like, it isn't this will survive 100% punches. But they are, like, it's the same retractable technology, especially. And they are from America. Also, cool, like, so the border has been shut down. Like, they did hint at the end of the last arc that, like, more international heroes were going to show up, like, to supplement the Japanese heroes, since Japanese hero society is collapsing. And so, yeah, they won't survive 100%, like, at all. So, if he does want to go 100%, either... I mean, I guess it is just don't go overboard. You can do anything else, just don't do 100%. Okay, so Hawks also knows. And presumably Genist also knows, because Hawks and Genist are kind of a thing now. I don't want to skim over it. I really appreciate this panel here. Like, showing that, yes, All Might is still using his own ringtone, and the Deku is, just casually as a fan, he can recognize it instantly. Like, it's a little levity in this dark time. And yeah, it makes sense. Like, if he's always zipping around, always fighting, it eliminates the possibility of the villains just tracking him down to the base. Okay, there's Mom. How in the world did they convince her that this was going to be okay? Or maybe they didn't. Maybe this was Deku just saying, if you disown me, it's fine. Okay, in the past, it was as if the little explosions were contained in your body, but this time they made their way to the surface. Yeah, so instead of, like, making his bones explode, instead, like, he's been venting the energy. Oh, yeah, and also Black Whip. Yeah, so I appreciate again, I am so happy this was never dropped. It's still a problem. He's working around it. Like, now he can still do big 100% punches that are going to continue to potentially leave him, armless for life. But, like, we have an explanation as to why he can do it just a little more than he could before. Okay, so Mom knows, and this is the big I'm not going back. And that also makes sense. Like, that is Mom, I can't go home. They're going to blow up our house if I go home. This panel will never stop being adorable. Oh, and the contrast. Neither of them are, like, happy now. Like, he's trying, he's trying to be comforting, but it's the big, like, I gotta go, I'm gonna abandon you, but I'll come home to you. I know I haven't been able to keep my promises about not being annihilated, but this is all I can do. And it's really, like, yeah, there's no way that she could argue against it. I should have made the kill. Sorry. Don't be so rigid. Killing can be another way to save someone. Never forget that. And either way, you gotta settle the score with the League of Villains. So, I believe chat said that before, that this was obviously Gran Torino's, scarf thing, that Deku's now using as a scarf. But I think this is honestly such a strong moment. Like, the fact that he didn't take it off of Gran Torino's corpse or anything, but also the fact that in this moment, Gran Torino does outright say, like, killing is a valid way to save someone. It is the big, it is up to you, Deku. And I personally do think Deku is going to find a way to save Shigaraki. Like, I think what we're going to aim for is he will find a way to save Shigaraki's life and stop him from being controlled. He might end up quirkless or something. And I think he will genuinely kill All For One. Like, even if All For One does a big, did you know inside of me are the souls of all my victims? They could all still be saved. If you kill me, it's like you're committing genocide. Like, I feel like Deku is still going to put him down. That would be, I think that's fair. Especially since we are, this isn't going to be a skip to him, having the big Keikaku Talk No Jutsu answer. We're seeing Deku's journey. We're seeing him try and figure out, why do people do what they do? Why, why is Muscular like this? Sorry, why is Jailbreaker like this? Why is everyone like this? Is it possible to save someone who looks me in the eye and says, you can't save me, I'm going to kill people, I'm killing people right now, you gotta kill me? This is another step to Deku admitting that he can't, sometimes if someone needs to be killed, he has to kill them. But, it is still he still needs to make the determination. He still doesn't know the full extent of what's going on with Shigaraki. Okay, so the team up is top 3 plus Deku plus All Might. That is, these 5 are our squad. I imagine we're probably going to cut away to the, to UA and whatnot, but it's cool to know that this is like the defined Deku squad right now. Like, I'm honestly really glad that we don't have any kids here. That it isn't the, like, oh, I gotta bring Bakugo along too, though. Like, that would defeat the purpose. The whole point of this is he is a constant walking target that is going to be killed. Fantastic, my hero. Like, I can't believe how much, like, Horikoshi's been able to sell the vibe of Deku growing up. This genuinely does feel like we have shifted gears, and every complaint I had about my hero, like during the Class 1A versus Class 1B situation, that's all fallen to the wayside. I like the series. This is honestly a really tough one. Like, sorry, I keep on kicking the mic. I'm gonna edit out a big ol' me kicking the mic 5 times. Anyways, I think it is unbelievably dope that, like, Dr. Stone's doing a big paradigm shift. Like, Undead Unluck is, like, this arc's pretty solid. This is a big paradigm shift. Like, we've gone through multiple chapters of this, and every chapter still feels like we're shifting things in a brand new way that'll never be, you can never go back. It's so much. Can I say this was better than Dr. Stone? I don't think so. I don't think there's quite as much here as the big Dr. Stone reveal. Like, they're very comparable, but I'll put it just a scotch below. Like, Dr. Stone has the big, like, we've had all this time unpacking this one big climactic turning the world back to stone, and there's so much there that I can speculate on. It feels like a complete game changer. This is equally a game changer, but it's been more, like, decompressed. I've had more time to settle into it, and it's like, we've had the big shocking stuff. Like, the fight with Shigaraki, I think, was way more shocking. This has been more of a, like, what is Deku's plan now? Like, he cannot go back to the status quo. What is the destiny he chooses to forge for himself in this moment? It's really cool. Like, this is I love it. I love My Hero Academia. And I can tell just from the vibe of it. The Horikoshi has been waiting a long time to get to this. And I feel really bad for, I know that he gets stressed out. I know he probably, like, during some of the other arcs, he probably saw a lot of the comments where people were bagging on him for the things I bagged on him for. And he knew in the back of his heart, like, yeah, I'm going to get to this part that these people are going to really love. But I have to do all this other stuff first, or else it's not going to make any sense. It's not going to be impactful. Like, Horikoshi is the journey he has crafted and the journey he is taking us on is amazing, fantastic, love it. I'm glad that I can be along for the ride. All right, so that's my hero. Next we got Me and Roboco, chapter 38. Is this a Bondo and Madoka chapter? We don't get that much Madoka. Like, and I think that's intentional. Like, Madoka is weird, but we get just enough of her that she tends to, like, gravitate back towards being just, cute, nice, fun girl that Bondo has a crush on. And I think that's okay for this kind of series. Like, it allows her to still be, the straight man occasionally and still, like, we don't think of her as being the wacky one. But she's got the big whack. She's hiding the big whack behind her back. She can pull it out whenever she wants to. I've been thinking about getting a casual hat of some kind. I still can't believe that Bondo's hat is a reference to Tokyo Shinobi Squad, and he started wearing the hat when long after the series was canceled, and it's still around. Okay, go shopping. I'm excited to see some of these Madoka looks. Chapter 38, Madoka and Bondo. I can't believe we haven't had a Madoka and Bondo yet. Like, just a chapter titled that. Men's no. Oh, I've been in this situation. Like, the legitimate... I'm so freaked out that I forgot that I was the one who came up with this idea. How do dates even work? What are the things you absolutely have to do? Rules I've never heard of. Like, on the day of the date, you have to make sure to put your left sock on before anything else, or bring a silver spoon with you. Yeah, I've been there. To be fair, I've been in a committed relationship for years. I still don't know how a date works. Like, that's been a bit of a problem. I still don't get romance very well. Oh no, Bondo, no, stop. There is nothing she could say that would be good. There is no advice that you can obtain from Roboco that would be useful in any way whatsoever. I'm an adult girl and Monica's best friend, you know. I'm the perfect person to ask about this. Okay, so you need to notice small differences and you need to compliment her. You need to notice and compliment her looks, her dress, her chest. Honestly, you should practice this every day so that it comes naturally. For example, you need to compliment me more. You should look at me more. So direct. Now, I mean, we started this with Monica straight up saying, I've been thinking about getting a casual hat. Like, I think that's a very clear, she's a fashion professional, but she doesn't want to only wear fashionable things. Or, like, she definitely wants to wear something that looks nice, I imagine. Like, no one wants to actively look ugly. Or, you know, most people don't want to actively look ugly. But I assume she's aiming for something that is very low effort. Oh, that'd be a good gag, actually, if she shows up and she looks like, you know, she's wearing, like, just sweatpants and a sweatshirt or something, and then Bondo has to try as hard as he can to try and, like, act as if she's wearing something super avant-garde. Next level sweats, bulletproof fits. Do you have any idea what this stuff means? Oh boy, I'm glad that you guys don't tend to see my fits. You guys usually see me in a t-shirt because I get very sweaty and, like, very warm when I react. And I mean, that's why I always have the big old sweaty pits. But, like, I'm rarely ever wearing a lot of stuff. Or I'm rarely, like, ever wearing an outfit. Like, even my pants are usually, like, pajama pants. And then I'm wearing, like, a normal t-shirt or something. But my fashion sense it's a little whack. I'm trying to fix it. Like, I'm trying to get rid of a lot of my black shirts, especially because black shirts are, like, the cheat code for not having any fashion sense, because they kind of go with everything. But I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to, like, broaden out into having a look that is also good. And there's been some weird hits and misses. I'm still working on my patterned shirts and my, like, hype beasts outfits, but we'll see. So this isn't a replica. This must actually be Saiyan armor. If I went on a date with, like, Donut, and Donut was wearing the Saiyan armor from the Saiyan Saga, I would be so on board. It looks good. That's a good fit. Okay, so, normal clothes, brushed his teeth. It's weekend, Madoka! That's honestly a really cool hoodie look. Cause yeah, like, clearly she looks fashionable, but she is going for more of a casual look. Like, it's just a big old baggy hoodie. Does she know? I'm so used to the female character who kind of knows about the crush but isn't really saying anything that I actually haven't really thought about whether she knows for realsies or not. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a really nice pink, almost like the lines on Piccolo's muscles. Oh no, his reference pool is way too tight. Shoot, pink is only in the anime. In the manga, they're basically yellow. Of course she's confused. I think she's mostly just going like, why did my band make you think of Piccolo? Oh right, I forgot about this this form. Mighty nice of you. Guess I'll just drink it and toss it. Oof. Okay, again, strong gag. I don't think I've ever seen someone nosebleed so hard that all they taste is blood. Yeah, this is honestly a cute date. Oh, she is wearing like she's also wearing a Tokyo Trout Squad hat. Like, she tried on the beanie. I think the beanie, like, fits the style more. But clearly, she's a little into him if she went for the Tokyo Trout Squad hat. Oh, yeah, she's definitely into him. There's no way she isn't. Like, even if it is just unbelievably close friendship. Like, there's no way, though, right? Like, this is so flirty. This is such an obvious, like, I want you to understand that this makes me really happy. His body moved on its own to get the hat. Oh, Roboco. Roboco actually coming in clutch for once. Like, actually being... I mean, granted, this is the classic wild Roboco move of I'm going to rocket punch you to safety, but... like, she did actually act like a guardian angel. She actually did help him. And yeah, she did think of it as a date. She was treating it as a date. You can never tell in these series, but I'm glad, honestly. Like, she's cute, he's cute. I want them to, like, Ideally, especially because they're little kids. Like, I'm not expecting a serious romantic relationship. I mean, it's a gag series too, but I like it if, like, I think this is the kind of series where they could, like, legitimately say they're dating, and it'd be fine. Like, I don't think it would change that much. I think it would mostly just, like, add in extra, potential for Monica to go save Bondo if he's in a sticky spot, or, like, Bondo could get swept up in some sort of, like, oh, Monica has a stalker, or Monica needs to get to the fashion show in time. Like, I could see it working out, honestly. But even if it doesn't, good chapter. It was just a really fun, cute date. Nothing to write home about, though. Like, it feels squarely, it's better than Blue Box. It was better than Candy Flurry. Elusive Samurai, I think, was a little bit better. Yeah. Was this, like... It was fun, but it was very, like, light and fluffy. It didn't give me any enormous big ha-has. So I think below Elusive Samurai is fair. All right, time to hit you with those author comments, and then we will get out of here. Ooh, Bleach Candy for Your Own World finale, really? How many came out? I was waiting for... Okay, there's only 3. Dang, okay, never mind, I'm gonna buy it then. Like, I knew it was officially coming out, and I tried reading the start of the fan translations when those came out, but it was too difficult for me to read, like, just on a screen like that. But if there's only 3 of them, and they are light novels, and they are, like, wrapping up everything. Actually, you know what? How much are they? I don't want to... No, I don't want the free preview. This is also... Okay, that's the paperback. I tend to buy everything from... Like, usually Chapters. Chapters or Kobo, if I'm doing it digitally. Oh, yeah, Chapters does own Kobo. Right. But yeah, like... So I assume they're all about $20, which is fair. Yeah. Oh, no, do I have a Plum Plus account? I haven't bought a book in, like, a year or two, so... that might be a waste of money, but... Yeah, I'll keep this. I'll keep this up. Sorry about the tangents. But I do love Bleach. There's also the possibility of me reading it on, like, in a video or something, but I don't know. Does anyone want to see me read, like, volumes? We'll see. Okay, finally, actual ass author comments. I'm wishing you the best, Ipon. Here's hoping. Oh, I didn't even notice it was a, like, artist-writer duo. Cool. But yeah, that also gives me a lot of hope for the storytelling. Like, you gotta really distinguish yourself, like, in a few chapters, like, in Modern Jump. But, like, I do dislike the ultra-fast pace of a lot of Modern Jump series, because, they're trying to squeeze out a story before they get canceled. Like, a lot of the original Yu-Gi-Oh!, which, should I say this? I guess I may as well. Actually, no, I won't. But I have been, like, rereading some of the old, like, the original Yu-Gi-Oh!, like, pre-Duel Monsters. And I do appreciate that most of the first and second volumes are just, like, a lot of one-shots, or a lot of, like, just, like, messing around, slowly build. Like, the cast is more or less set pretty early on, but there's a lot of, like, slow building stuff up and just doing, like, fun things of the week. And to be fair, I think part of that is because, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a strong hook. Like, every chapter early on, every chapter has, like, a new gamble or a new game, and they're all, like, these tiny little puzzles. It has this really cool hook where, like, I get why I would read it every single week, and why I would say every single week this was really, really good. I don't think I've seen a series in Jump in the longest time like that. Like, that isn't a gag series. Me and Roboco has some of that energy, especially early on. That's why it felt so very distinct, even amongst the gag series. But I guess it's too much of a gamble to try and do a series that is very, like, a serious series that still does a lot of, like, independent stories that are just very good by virtue of being independent stories. Like, like a horror anthology or something. Oh, someone did say that, I remember seeing a comment this week where someone was saying, oh, Chapter 1 of Blue Box was even better than the one-shots. I wonder if the one-shot's been translated. It's sandal season! I want to go to the beach! I call the time that builds up before the volume of your favorite manga comes out Nagi. Must be patience. Oh, this is a big one. I feel this one. Let me just save it. I had a dream where I was playing with a cat, and I was so happy, but when I woke up, I realized I'd overslept by 3 hours and overcome with dread. That happened to me today. It wasn't a cat, though, which is rare, actually. I do dream a lot about playing with cats, but this time was... What was my dream? I just remember feeling like completely dead. I woke up, like I had an alarm set. I woke up, I figured I'm going to doze back off for a sec, and I overslept by 3 hours. Whew. Lately, I get the shivers every time I read Inagaki-sensei storyboards. This is what you call being on top of your game. Yeah, I can't imagine how much fun Boichi's having, like, because he gets to, make the big, like, Inagaki does the storyboarding, but Boichi has final call on all of the arts, and this is really a job where he gets to go completely ham. Like, whatever Inagaki said to do, he just goes for it, and as long as he's not, like, creating problems with continuity, it's all good. I've been in Tokyo for a while now, but I just can't get used to the earthquakes. I hide under my desk right away. Yeah, I imagine that's something that'd be very difficult to get used to. Like, I've heard that from people in, San Francisco, too. They're like, people get used to it, but sometimes you just don't. Sometimes it's always just a little scary, because it's an earthquake. Oof. A comment from Tabata-sensei. I'm sorry, and thank you so much. As to that, I'm ecstatic. Miyazaki-sensei feels like the kind of person who really relishes being in Jump, like legitimately. Like, there's so many times where someone says, hey, I really like this. There's so many times where he's responded to people in the pages of Jump. It's so good. I dropped my wallet. I desperately looked around on the street. Then I realized it's already spring. That feels like a real big mangaka situation. That's a real, like, I never get out. You know what? These were not bad mangaka musings. That said, they go right to the bottom, as always. Sometimes I don't even say it. I'd say most of the time in 2021 I haven't said, and the author comments go to the bottom, but you can expect that. Unless they are some big standout author comments, or unless the series I'm reading or series I really don't like. They're always going to be at the bottom. Alright, thank you all so much for watching. This was a fantastic time. Bye for now. Nya nya.